Hello, and welcome to the voice thread that is on Résumé, presented to you by Career Services and Internships. The purpose of a resume. When applying for jobs and internships, employers get an impression of you right away. Important to making a resume as professional and appealing to the employer as possible so they get to know you and call you for an interview. You want to give them good, solid information on your education and your experience. It is important to present your resume in a very precise and concise manner, the best way possible for the employer to know who you are and what you have to offer them. A resume is like you, it's a living document. It's changing, it's updating. So you always want to make sure you have the most accurate information on your resume so that you're always changing and updating it. So we'll start at the very top, the header, where your name goes, and then your address. You only really have to put on your city and state that you live in. Phone number and email are very important so they can contact you. We recommend that you use your UMass email address because there's a lot of recruiting for jobs and internships that go on here at UMass Boston. So it's always best to use your UMass email address. If you have a LinkedIn profile, that's also very important to put on your resume if your LinkedIn account is completed and updated like your resume, because a lot more jobs are being posted on LinkedIn. But it's important to have your name, your city and state, and your phone number and email. Phone number and email are most important. Also with the header, it should be big print, so I would do like a 14 font. So here's an example of a header. As you can see, Conway Smith is put in a bigger print, probably like a 14 or 15 font. Again, the address is optional. I would put down your city and state that you live in. Most important is the phone number and then the email address. Like I said, if you have a completed LinkedIn page, I'd recommend that you put your LinkedIn address down as well. The objectives are optional. If you're sending a cover letter with your resume, you do not need one. If you are writing an objective, if you're only sending your resume, make sure that you're promoting who you are and what skills you're bringing to the company. Not what the company can do for you, but what you're bringing to the company. Also, career summary is usually if you have a significant amount of work experience and you're sending a resume without a cover letter, you would just be highlighting your skills. So we'll start with education. So you would write University of Massachusetts, Boston, Boston, Mass, and on the right-hand side, you want all of your dates to line up. So for example, we have May 2019. It would be a Bachelor of Science, could be a Bachelor of Arts and whatever, but it's a Bachelor of Science in Management with a concentration in finance. But you would want to write underneath University of Massachusetts, you would write the Bachelor of Science or Bachelor of Arts. You'd also want to put down if you're in the Honors College, and you'd want to put down a concentration if you have one. We recommend that you put your GPA on if it's a 3.0 or higher. You would also list your honors awards and your scholarship, including when you're on the Dean's List. If you're putting down the Dean's List, you just need to put down the years that you were on the Dean's List. So here's another thing about education. If you have attended another college, example, a community college, you would list that as well. And you would list that you graduated from the college, what year you did, and what your major was. So if you are transferring from a college and you only went there for 1 year, it's up to you whether you want to put that college. They're more concerned of where you're getting your degree than other colleges that you have put down. But if you did get an associate's degree, I would recommend that you put that on the resume under education. Relevant coursework. If you have taken courses that are related to your major, it's important to put that down. You would list them in a bullet format rather than a laundry list, and if space is this issue, you can list them across, but only do 3. So here we have Intro to Business and Business Law, Statistics, Macroeconomics. We have them in like a list, so that they're clear and concise to see. Projects. If you have worked on projects in your classes that you have worked as a group member and you have had responsibilities, it's always good to list the project and then to give 1 or 2 bullets for what you did. Do not use the word I. You want to use action verbs for what you did. So here's an example. Marketing a new product for Bright Eyes Company. Reviewed and documented how different companies advertised a new product. Created and facilitated a marketing plan for Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to promote the product for Bright Eyes Company. So you'll notice we used strong action verbs: reviewed, documented, created, and facilitated. And we also said where we did it for the marketing plan for Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. But it's always important to use strong action verbs when you're talking about what you did for the project. So if you did an internship, you'd list the name of the organization, the location, your job title, and the time period that you worked there. So if you've only done an internship for 1 month or two, it may not always be advisable to put on. Usually an internship goes for 3 months. You would list your duties and responsibilities. So here's an example. Franklin Marketing Company, Boston, Mass., June 2019 to August 2019. The title of the internship was Social Media Marketing Intern. Evaluated and researched other company websites, created and designed website for company, designed a procedure to check to see how many viewings website had, updated and revised presentation of company on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. If you notice, we use the words evaluated and researched, use the words created and designed a procedure. So you're using strong action verbs to say what you did in the internship. Next, you would be your work experience. So you can use the word work experience, relevant work experience, or additional other work experience. It's various headings depending on what you want for preference. You can use the word work experience, like I said, professional experience, or just experience. With work experience, if you have been promoted or have several jobs with a company, you would still list them under the company name and list the jobs separately. Very important. So it would be name of company, city and state, month that you worked there, job title, um, and also you would list your responsible duties. You would list bullets. So you usually would list at least 4 to 5 bullets of what your responsibilities or duties were. So here's an example. Macy's, Boston, Mass., May 2017 to present, sales associate, provide customer service to daily walk-in clientele and retail environment, handle cash and credit transactions, facilitate the organization of merchandise on sales floor, and train new associates. So you're telling them exactly what you did, again, trying to use strong action verbs. Again, it's provide customer service to daily walk-in clientele and retail environment, handle cash and credit transactions, facilitate the organization of merchandise on sales floor, and train new associates. So if you have military experience, it's good to list that separately outside of work experience, and you would list, again, the name of the organization that you worked for or served in, and you would list your responsibilities. If this is only the work experience that you have, you could always list work/military experience if you've had no other experience outside of the military. So here's something else to put on your resume: leadership experience. That's always optional, but you would list the name of the organization, city and state, month that you worked there, and your role or title. You would only use 1 or 2 bullets if you were like the president, vice president, of what your duties were. Again, volunteer experience is optional. If you've done some and it's filling the resume, that's very valuable. Again, you'd list the organization, name, city and state, time period that you worked there, your title, and again, 1 or 2 or 3 bullets to describe what your responsibilities were using action verbs. Any type of certification, for example, we're using the one here, certificate in first aid. If you have any other certifications, you can put them there. Skills. You would list your skills and abilities that you feel you're proficient or strong in. That would include skills that are related to your career field. Here's an example. You would list them: proficient in Microsoft Office, Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. Here's one that's become more and more important because more companies are using social media. So proficient in social media: Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. If you feel that you have a good handle of how to use all of these, doesn't matter if you use them all the time, but it's valuable to put the social media experience on. If you're fluent in another language, for example, here fluent in Spanish, then you would put it down as well as time management and customer service. So here's an outline of how it would look. It would be your header at the top using like a 13 or 14 header for your name, and you would also use your UMass email address. An objective or career summary is only if you're not sending a cover letter. And then you would do education, coursework, projects, internships, work experience, military experience if you have it, and leadership experience, volunteer experience, and then you list your skills.